Hi, I'm Casey from The Deer Hunter, and you are watching I Am The Trend TV.
Here they are, the wicked, abandoned flood.
Hey guys, Adam from IAMTHETREND.com, and I'm here with Casey from The Deer Hunter. Thanks a lot for taking the time to do the interview, man. I much appreciate it. Welcome to Chicago.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It was awesome.
It was awesome. So how's the tour going so far?
Very, very good. Yes. Headlining is really, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. You guys don't headline very much, right?
No. And we always want to, and like our booking user and our manager are like, you know, you should establish yourselves as a headlining band.
Sure.
But there's so many bands that we love and admire that it's like if we get an offer to go out with them, it's like, yes, let's do that, let's do that. And then you find like yourself a year and a half into a record cycle, and you're like, oh, we haven't headlined at all.
Yeah.
And then you find yourselves 4 years into your career, and you're like, wow, we've never headlined the West Coast. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, let's do it now.
Sure.
You know, and it is a limited run, but we get to hit places that we never really hit. So, and I was telling you that the fact that even like 150 people show up, not even, but like 150 people to us,
Sure.
is big. And we've been on tours where like it's a 1,500 cap room and only 1,200 people come, and like the tour manager of the headlining band is like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? They're so pissed off. For us, it's like if it was a 1,500 cap room and 15 people came, we'd be like, this is okay. This is alright. So it's exciting.
Sure. That's cool, man. Well, congratulations on the headlining tour.
Thank you.
I'm asking you if the concept of the Deer Hunter story came before the band, or how that all ended up.
Yeah, it came at the same time because the last band I was in, I basically was writing songs around this really loose concept that eventually became the main concept of what we were doing. And as soon as I was writing them, I needed to give them a name.
Sure.
And that's what I kind of brought the name in. So it was very much like within 1 month, there were these songs and there was this name for what they were.
Speaking of the name, where was the inspiration behind that?
It started when I was in high school, and it was just like a play on words, and I thought it was
Sure.
cool to do a play on words.
Absolutely.
After that, I just kind of kept it around because I liked the ring of it, and it never really had a bigger meaning until it was part of the story. And
Sure.
that's really as big as the meaning gets, is as part of the
Develop the
story.
story around
Yeah.
the words. Gotcha. Fair enough. Speaking of like the writing process, I mean, to me, you guys don't really write songs. Like you write almost like orchestra pieces. Like there's just a ton that go into it.
Oh.
There he is. Hey, I just took a shit. How was it for you?
It was good. Sorry.
Smells like it was.
Oh my god. Well, we were going to go in that back room, and it's chock full of someone I don't know.
Some creepy people.
Maybe you'll see in the background like a fight break
That'd
out.
be amazing.
Somebody goes over the balcony. So yeah, I mean, how does your writing how does it start? I mean,
I think it's like the same for every band. It starts with a guitar riff or a piano line or an idea or a lyric, and
Sure.
then it's basically how it's finished that differs. Sometimes it'll be a really infantile idea that I showed everyone and we flesh out as a band. A lot of times
Sure.
in the past it was just me writing it all either on a piano usually or guitar and demoing it really simple,
sure.
and then us fleshing it out. But lately it's been me having pretty bare bones ideas on guitar and all of us getting into a room and saying, how can we make this a song?
Gotcha.
But the Act 1, 2, and 3 were much more, there's a lot more intention in that music than there is now, and what we're trying to write now. It was very strict and rigid.
Sure.
Even if it sounded experimental, there was still a reason that needed to.
Gotcha.
And that's how those records will all sound.
Yeah.
Right now we're taking a break from those records, but that's kind of, it is kind of a chaotic birthing process to make a song. It can happen anyway, really.
Sounds good. So you got to touch on it a little bit. Act 4.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year now since Act 3's been out. Are you guys in the process of recording, still demoing songs?
What we're gonna do now is, since we've made it like halfway through,
Sure.
and instead of rushing right into the next one, or it takes so much work to make those records. especially just mentally, of wanting to do it the right way, doing a concept record the right way, and not just kind of shitting one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That instead of going headfirst into that realm again and continuing with that, we're taking a break from that, and we're gonna this summer work on this other kind of concept that we had around for a while that we haven't
Something based
done.
on colors?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 9 very short EPs
Nice.
on the color spectrum. So this summer we're going to do that and release that hopefully early in the fall and tour on that in the fall, and then early next year start on Act 4.
Very nice.
Yeah, but it's a nice break for us, and I think it'll make Act 4 that much more special for everyone instead of rushing to it and just trying
Well,
to
2 and 3 were pretty close together.
Yeah, they were.
So you want to just kind of slow it down and take it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned the Colors albums. I mean, is that going to be something that sounds completely different than the acts, or is it just since the story doesn't fit with that, it was something
It'll
else?
sound really different.
All right, cool.
It'll still be, luckily because our music has been pretty wide and varying,
Sure.
I think you can hear a song that's extreme one way or extreme the other way, but as long as it's our song, it still sounds like us.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll still be like that. Like the music's gonna be very different, but it's still gonna sound like the character.
Very cool.
I hope. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
As far as plans for this summer, I know this tour is kind of a short tour for you guys. Do you have any major plans this summer? Is it going to be writing, is it going to be touring? Recording. All right, cool.
There was a couple of like bigger tours that we were hoping to get, but none of them panned out. And at that point, it was like, okay, well, we're not on a record label anymore. We don't have any tour offers. Like, let's not just sit around and do nothing.
Sure.
It's a really good opportunity to do something that a label usually wouldn't let us do.
There you go.
And approaching a label and saying we have this idea for 9 records, we're gonna
Yeah.
record in 3 months. They would be like, there's no way we're putting money into that.
Absolutely. So you guys are not on Triple Crown anymore? Gotcha. Did you want to touch on that at all, or you want to?
I'm grateful for both sides of it. I'm
Sure.
grateful that they were there from the beginning. And
Sure.
before the band was even a band, they said they wanted to work with me. And now I'm grateful that at this point in the career that we've matured to the point where we don't. It took us being in the label system to find out we don't really want to be there.
Gotcha.
And we got to learn a lot from them. We got to learn a lot of positives and negatives. And I think at this point, it's also like we got to learn if we want to release a record, what's like the checklist of things you have to do. Like
Sure.
you have to get tour marketing, you have to get regular marketing, you have to get a publicist, you have all these things learning, so that now it's like, okay, well, the only missing link here is money. If
Yeah.
we can find a way to make money, we don't need to sign away 90% of our lives to a label.
Absolutely.
So there's no question whether or not labels are bad.
Sure.
I think everyone knows that any industry that doesn't make anything new, that's just a middleman industry, is not a good industry, because all it does is it puts its hand between the product and the consumer,
Yep.
and it just kind of grabs.
Absolutely.
So not only does it stop the artist from getting what they deserve, but it also stops the consumer from getting what they deserve, because it's just a filter in every way. It's a filter of money, it's a filter of creativity. You know, they tell a band what they should or shouldn't be doing, they put you in certain magazines, and then at the same time they take the money that when a person buys a record, they're supporting a band.
Yep.
And on some small scale, they're kind of commissioning your next record.
Sure.
But when they do that, and only, $1 out of every 1,000 ever sees its way into your pocket, it's like, it's not really it's not a good industry. But like I said, I'm grateful that we were there, because there's no way we could have started from scratch and been anywhere close to where we are.
Absolutely.
But I'm grateful at how much we've learned and how now it's like, let's try doing this on our own.
I mean, basically, with things like TuneCore, where you put yourself online, it makes it so much easier for independent bands to support themselves, and like you said, cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
And so basically, you feel
fans would pay much quicker. They would want to purchase it.
Sure.
If they know that you aren't. Because I have people do that all the time, where they ask me if I buy this record, are you going to see the money, or are they going to see the money? And then I tell them, like, they're going to see the money. It helps us for different reasons, but they're going to see the money.
Absolutely.
So if they know, like, I am spending money on this band, it's going into the band's pocket, so they can eat, they can live, and they can create.